Bahram's campaign to Iran. When Bahram discovered that the crown of the Kingdom of Iron Shah was in the hands of someone else, he decided to reclaim it. He sought help from Mundhir and Noman, who provided assistance with their wealth and army. 100,000 riders assembled from Yemen to Aden, all clad in armor and prepared to conquer the castles. As this formidable army advanced towards Iron Shah, the mountains and desert trembled. Their sheer numbers surpassed the ants in the world, and their determination for revenge was akin to the fire of hell approaching Iran. Upon learning of Bahram's campaign, the king of Iran summoned the nobles, religious leaders, and military officers to the court to devise a plan. The assembly agreed to send a letter to Bahram. The messengers, fearing for their lives, delivered the letter to Bahram's army camp. Bahram instructed them to hand over the letter and leave. His officers opened the letter and began reading it, which commenced with the name of God, the one who guides the misguided, the Lord of mountains and valleys, from whom all non-existence found existence. The Lord who is the creator of all creatures, the sky and the mountains, and nothing is beyond his scope. Creation is a mystery solved by him. He is the owner of the earth and time, and the earth and time are obedient to his command. Following that, he sent a greeting letter to Prince Bahram. In that letter, the king of Iran said, "You are the holder of the royal crown and also the son of the king. I do not seek your enmity. I am an experienced and wise old man, who has made wisdom his guide, as ignorance shall not prevail. I take pride in this wisdom bestowed upon me by God, for folly shall not prosper. Though I rule over Iron Shah, I am truly a leader of these people, and not driven by a thirst for power. Although governing may resemble honey, it is actually highly poisonous. My destiny seems to have a kingdom as vast as the stars and the universe, and the position of the kingdom is not immune to misfortune. I never desired this, but the Iranians compelled me to assume the throne with numerous requests. I serve as a constable to prevent the land from falling into ruin, and I take pride in this responsibility. You, on the other hand, are distant from the realm of politics and the affairs of the kingdom. It would be better for you to focus on enjoying zebra kebabs, as it is preferable to the burdensome matters of the kingdom. Drinking wine by the riverbank from a jug is far more appealing than managing the world's affairs. In truth, you are the true king of this world, unconcerned with the kingdom's affairs, and your daily life revolves around hunting and wine drinking. You spend your days hunting and your nights contentedly sipping wine, sleeping soundly. Meanwhile, I am devoid of happiness day and night, constantly burdened by the concerns of the kingdom's people. At times, I am troubled by the woes of my friends, and other times, I ponder the schemes of my enemies. My least concern is contending with you for the crown, I wish I could hunt and drink like you. I mention these points not to imply that you lack knowledge about the affairs of the kingdom. Rather, you are the true heir to the throne and crown of your kingdom, and this land belongs to you. However, due to your father's foolishness, you lost this throne. He neglected people's complaints and left them unattended. There was so much crime during his reign that he was labeled a criminal king. So much bloodshed occurred during his time that no one showed him mercy, and he will not reap what he sowed. In Iran, no one desires for you to become king. So it is best to abandon this wishful thinking. Just as hot fire melts iron, the cold hammer strikes the molten metal, softening it and altering its shape. Whenever you require wealth, I will provide you with profits from hidden treasures, ensuring you never feel helpless and always live in prosperity and luxury. When the king of Iran's letter was read to Bahram, he was furious. However, with shrewdness, he managed to maintain his composure and responded as follows: I appreciate the statement from the Iranian court, but I will never bow to anyone for silver and gold in any of the 7 countries on earth. It would sadden me greatly to see the land of my ancestors fall into the hands of others. While my father may have claimed to be a god, I, on the other hand, consider myself a friend of God. You cannot punish or accuse me of a crime I have not committed. My father's actions do not define me, I am my own person. If he was a stone, I am a gem. Just as the bright day follows the dark night, and a precious gem is extracted from the heart of a stone. You cannot label my father a criminal when you previously approved of his actions during his reign. It is not appropriate to speak ill of the dead, as he is no longer able to defend himself in the living world. If he wronged anyone in his lifetime, he now rests in his grave. Wisdom dictates that only the ignorant would lend an ear to unjust slander and worthless gossip about others. A wise person steers clear of such slander. If someone has a questionable character, it is not beneficial to discuss it, and even worse to entertain such discussions. I am unaware of my father's transgressions, but if he has wronged the Iranians, I offer my sincere apologies. Although I was oblivious to these events at the time, I now acknowledge them and vow to rectify any wrongs. Success lies in proper rest before embarking on tasks, as our eyes cannot withstand sleep deprivation. It is essential to rest well and then proceed with vigor. I have been fortunate to awaken at the right moment, and I am committed to never neglecting life again. I will not engage in fruitless endeavors, avoid autocratic behavior, and seek counsel from the elders for the betterment of the land. I will refrain from being harsh on others' mistakes, resist the temptation of coveting others' possessions, and refrain from dwelling on past transgressions. I will judge individuals based on their current actions, and treat them accordingly. I will not spend from your property and wealth, instead, I will finance expenses from the capital of the enemies. Those with good intentions will always come to my court, and I will remove ill wishers from my throne so that only good people surround me, ensuring I do not learn bad things from them. I will never make judgments that would bring shame in the sight of God. Like a shepherd for the flock, I will protect the property, possessions, women, and children of the people. I will not attempt to seize people's wealth and income by force, rather, I will strive to increase their income and wealth. I will never engage in actions that go against God's will, and I will not allow my ego to lead me astray from the right path. When Bahram spoke these words, the eldest priest stood up and responded, "Your speech was eloquent and commendable. Although the crown is in our possession, you are its rightful heir. You are a reflection of Ardeshir Papa Khan, and serve as a guardian to the people like a shepherd to his flock. Your royal lineage is a legacy passed down from one king to the next. Both the young and the old among us have unwavering faith and trust in you. However, we are bound by an agreement with the current king of Iran, and we cannot betray our promise or violate our pact. We must find a way to support you without compromising our commitment to the reigning monarch. Breaking our covenant would be deemed unacceptable in our religion and bring shame upon us in the eyes of the Almighty." Upon hearing this, Bahram the Lionheart declared, "No wise man would break his covenant. Although the current king of Iran is your elder, in my eyes, he is like a child. I will remove the crown from his head with such precision that not a single hair will be harmed, ensuring he feels no pain. My lineage traces back to King Jamshid through generations of my ancestors. The fate of the world dictates that no one will forever wear the crown of Jamshid or sit upon the throne of Faradaan. The throne is merely a tool for the king, his true crown is the sky, and his throne is the earth. Those with the will and determination can pave their way to power and claim the throne of rulership. With a sword in hand, I will strive to ascend to kingship. Should a usurper seize my crown, they will be akin to a spider spinning a web at the mouth of a cave, futile against the return of the dragon to its lair. Just as a mosquito cannot withstand the might of an elephant's foot. A zebra may boast of bravery, but it will flee from a lion, and 100 lamps will be no match for the blazing sun of Ares. It goes without saying that now that I am a guest in someone else's home, how can I be content with a stranger taking over my house? My enemy is drinking stew of honey and sugar, and I have to eat my heart out. While all of Iran is under my rule, I am a guest in the land of the Arabs. Mundir and his son Noman would sacrifice their lives and wealth for me. I will conquer the land like a young lion. As long as I am present, why should Iran's tribute be given to my enemy? Only kings can sit on the throne of kings. I am the king, and the others are subordinate. I am the one who is full, while others are empty. It is the king who decides to march. Only the priest's young son is worthy to drink from his father's half-empty cup of wine. You know my intentions well, and I always speak the truth. However, since you are unwilling to break your promise, I will abide by your decision. How about we meet on the battlefield tomorrow morning and release 2 hungry and fierce lions, placing the king's crown between them? Whoever desires the crown of the kingdom of Iron Shah must enter the battlefield, retrieve the crown from between the lions, and place it on his head. All the troops on the battlefield will witness this event. Whoever wears the royal crown will be called the King of Iron Shah by the Iranian people. Bahram sealed the letter and sent it to the Iranian army camp. When Bahram's letter reached the camp of the Iranian army, a dispute arose among the leaders. One group viewed him as a prince from the lineage of kings, asserting his rightful claim to the throne. They believed that just as you cannot obscure the sun with mud, it was impossible to deny Bahram's right to kingship. These generals described Bahram as a lion with formidable claws, unmatched by any dragon, capable of overpowering even entire armies when provoked. They warned that if Bahram sought the crown, he would not hesitate to capture and subdue the country's leaders and nobles. They argued that Bahram does not need to take the crown from between 2 devouring lions to obtain the throne. However, this act itself would be a strong argument for his worthiness and merit. Therefore, they conveyed their support to the king in the following manner: Bahram's response to your letter indicates that he still desires the throne, considers it his right, and believes that it is not appropriate for brothers to kill each other for the crown. When the king heard the decision of the army leaders, he stepped down from the throne, removed the crown from his head, and declared, I despise this throne. I have no desire to risk my life between 2 ravenous lions just to claim it. No wise man would dare to snatch food from a lion's mouth. The rightful heir to this kingdom is Bahram, whether through the might of the sword or the merriment of wine. It is more fitting to entrust the destiny of Iran to a young king like him rather than an old man like myself. I renounce my royal position, and choose to be a king's devotee rather than a king. The country's leaders echoed his sentiments, stating, We initially urged you to assume the throne, but now we are content for you to relinquish the royal mantle. Seizing the crown from a lion is no trivial matter. It is best for Bahram to undertake this task. If he is willing to face the challenge of the crown and lion, we will support his decision. We shall bring the lion to the battlefield and place the crown between them. If Bahram is afraid and you end up as king once more, so be it. If he seizes the crown and rules justly, it will be commendable. However, if he fails to uphold his promise and brings ruin to the land, he shall face dire consequences. In the morning, as the sun shone on the camp of the 2 Iranian armies, they set up an ivory throne and placed a golden crown on it. The crown sparkled in the sunlight. The lion guard brought 2 hungry man-eating lions to the battlefield. The lions' paws dug into the ground, as if they were digging Bahram's grave. The golden crown stood between the 2 lions, resembling the moon between 2 dragons. It was decided that Bahram would face the 2 lions, and if he defeated them, he would be rewarded with the golden crown and ivory throne. Despite being only 22 years old, Bahram fought fiercely with the lions, breaking their necks. Bahram swiftly entered the square and reached for the crown. However, the 2 ferocious lions attacked him, as if drawing a sharp dagger to cut his throat and tear him apart. Yet, Bahram courageously overcame them, throwing their heads at their feet, ripping off their claws, crushing their teeth, and placing the crown on his head in the midst of the battlefield. He emerged victorious from the intense battle. Bahram, the lion-hearted, drove the foxes away from the kingdom's arena of competition. After this event, the priests, army commanders, and governors of the provinces pledged allegiance to him. He also delivered a speech on the administration of justice, stating, "I hold this position as a king by the grace of God, and I am grateful to God at all times. I will never disregard God's blessings." The removal of the crown from between the two lions was a result of God's help, not the strength of the arm, or the sharpness of the sword. Now that I have ascended to the throne, I am committed to acting in ways that please God. If it is God's will and I continue to rule over Iran, I will ensure that no one suffers unjustly. I urge my friends and subordinates to join me in prioritizing truth and righteousness in our actions. If I fail to uphold justice, others will not do so either. It is my responsibility to respond to injustice with justice and to ensure the safety of the living and the peace of the dead. I intend to seek counsel from the elders, resolve disputes among different groups, and prevent the squandering of the country's power. I aim to restore blessings and prosperity, revive the economy, and promote merit-based rank and status. I will combat corruption, protect people's rights, quell unrest, and uplift the poor and needy. By defeating enemies and securing victories for friends, I will bring joy to the hearts of the people and foster a love for our country. Those who do not love their country are truly lifeless. I will instill pride in the people for their wealth, inspire gratitude towards God, and cultivate compassion and kindness among them. Failure to express gratitude to God will result in suffering. As everyone gathered in that assembly heard Bahram's commitment to ruling with justice and fairness, they expressed their gratitude to God.